Hey guys, what's up? I'm Connor.
And I'm Landon.
And movie review this time, obviously, because
March 11th.
March 11th, 2016. Actually, it's March 12th when I upload this.
Oh, yeah.
But we saw a movie.
Not just ordinary.
Ordinary movie.
No.
Produced by Mr. J.J. Abrams and directed by...
That guy. Directed by Showtime's 745 is the director. No, it is. It's a new director.
Dan something.
Okay, here's wait. Okay.
You'll have to wait because I can't remember.
Dan Trachtenberg.
Anyways,
no, it's
his first time directing, and this movie is called 10 Cloverfield Lane. For those of you who don't know, Cloverfield, which is in between 10 and Lane in here, was a movie that was made by J.J. Abrams a few years ago. It's a found footage movie of a giant monster.
Star Wars Episode 8 is around the corner.
Just saying this right now, this movie is being called a blood relative or like a spin-off type kind of movie, but not really. It's a spiritual sequel in a way. So if you go into this movie expecting, in the last part of the movie, or I'm going to see the Cloverfield monster in this movie, that ain't going to happen.
In all honesty,
don't expect that. Walk into this movie expecting to see a good science fiction thriller.
And it was. And this movie is starring
John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Weinstein,
and then the John Gallagher Jr.
Yeah, John Gallagher Jr. And Mary Elizabeth Weinstein plays a girl named Michelle. John Goodman plays Howard, and what's his name? John Gallagher Jr.
He plays
Emmett.
Emmett.
And pretty much what happens in the movie is that at the beginning you can tell that something is wrong with Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, like
bad breakup
with her boyfriend and all that stuff, and wasn't going all that good. And then she's like on her way to go somewhere, and she gets into a horrific car crash. She wakes up inside a bomb shelter, like a bunker and everything. And John Goodman brought her there and said that he saved her life. And all that stuff.
Which he repeatedly says throughout the film.
He repeatedly says that throughout the film and everything, and he says that apparently there was an attack. What was the attack? Later in the review.
But
all I can say is, this movie is a great movie. I think this movie is a great movie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My vibrator.
This movie, as I said, great movie. John Goodman in the movie is awesome. Mary Elizabeth Weinstein in the movie is great as usual. The thing I loved the most about her in the movie was that she was extremely smart.
And hot.
Yeah.
For example, usually when people will come to a situation like, oh no, I'm trapped, what do I do? They just kind of wait there and they're like, oh, I'm going to, do whatnot. Now, since she was in an accident, she had the fluids, she had the IV and whatnot. She used the pole. I was like, just use the pole next to you to get your phone, and that's what she did. So she was thinking throughout the film, which is good.
Yeah, she did something where she took like the crutches that John Goodman gave her, and she took it and sharpened it really sharp until she was gonna maybe stab him with it and all that stuff. He kind of saw that coming though.
Yeah.
I guess some other things that happen in the movie is that he says that the outside air is not breathable to humans, and if you go out there, you're going to die and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, she doesn't believe him on that, so she distracts him some way, and she gets the keys, and she goes outside the bunker. Not outside the bunker completely, but she's, out there, and she sees a woman run towards, and her face is all fucked up and everything, and she's, pretty much dying.
It was like a radiated face, so, if you ever play Fallout... Like the mutants. It's going to look like the ghouls.
And, the main question that they ask during the movie is, what is attacking outside?
You think it's military force because you hear jets and loud roaring. So you're like... Because John Goodman was in the Navy for a long time. He's like, well, what'd you work on? The satellites. So he obviously knows his shit.
So, in a way, Chris Duckman said this, but that might be... It's a small spoiler to the movie, and it's a huge spoiler to the first Cloverfield movie. That's why people say it kind of has maybe something to do with... Because at the end of the first Cloverfield movie, a satellite fell out of the sky. You would literally have to pay really good attention to see it. The satellite falls out of the sky into the ocean, and that's what woke up the Cloverfield monster in the first movie.
Yeah.
But so when they say he works with satellites, maybe it's that.
Maybe, and that's what I was also kind of thinking throughout the film. You know,
other things that happen was midway through the movie, they figure out that John Goodman is maybe not the nice guy that he is. And
he never really showed off a nice vibe at first.
Yeah,
he was more
really.
like, he was kind of funny, but kind of strict.
He was a different kind of creepy. It wasn't really all like the creepy where it's just like, oh, he's really nice and all that stuff, or oh, it's like a little kid. It's like John Goodman is a giant, like
he's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's like I don't know how old is he. I think he's like in his 50s or something like that.
Oh no, yeah,
he's the type of guy
60s,
that if you were to
50s.
see him, if he was blocking a doorway, you're not getting past that fucking door.
That guy, he's got some meat on him.
And he's like an ex-Navy SEAL, so
no, yeah. Well, I don't think it was. I think he was just Navy, wasn't it?
And maybe Navy SEAL. That's what they call him. But
anyways.
Other things that happen, like the guy Emmett at the beginning of the movie, you can tell that John Goodman is not really is not a nice guy. First off, he kidnapped a woman.
Oh
but,
yeah.
The guy Emmett, when they get introduced to him, he knocked over a week's supply worth of food. So John Goodman beat the shit out of him for it.
Yeah.
I think did he break his arm with that?
I think he did break his arm or stabbed it with something.
He did. Well, I think. John Gallagher, I think he did say something about when he was trying to get into the bunker, his arm got stuck in the door and everything.
Oh yes. But other than that, it's not.
Yeah, other parts. Yeah. At the one part, they do something where he brings out some chemical. John Goodman brings out some chemical because they were planning on doing this. Their whole plan was that they were going to make gas masks and stuff,
so they could go outside.
So they were going to go outside and get help and everything, and then they were going to tie up John Goodman and everything, but he had this chemical that burns human flesh or anything on contact. So he burns two things, and then this was the guy Emmett dies, and this is how he dies. John Goodman is talking to him and all that stuff, and he says, "It's my fault. I wanted to get your gun, and I wanted to make sure I was as strong and powerful as you were towards her." And he's like, "It's okay. I accept your apology," and then just straight up shoots him right in the fucking face. That made me jump, honestly.
The thing that I really love about John Goodman in this film is that you feel for him and you don't.
In a way.
And the reason why I say is because he always brings up this girl, oh, it's Megan, my daughter, and you're like, oh, shit. Well, he feels bad. And he feels bad, and you kind of feel bad for him. So when the girl is climbing through the vents to turn on the breathing.
Because a part of it, in part of the movie, something happens, a loud explosion happens and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, the ventilation inside of their bunker gets messed up. And they're down there, and Mary Elizabeth Weinstein is the only one that's small enough to fit through the vent. So she goes through there and she turns it back on by turning it off, on again. And then she finds an earring, but she goes up this one shaft. She looks outside and she peels back this one thing, and it says "help" and
scratched in,
and it's scratched in blood. And then she goes down and she finds an earring, and she realizes that the picture that John Goodman showed of his daughter Megan, that's the same earring, and it's covered in blood. But it turns out that wasn't his daughter in the picture.
Emmett's sister knew who she was, and it wasn't. I think her name was Brittany or something. Yeah. But so basically he killed her. I was like, oh shit, John Goodman's a cannibal. No, but he just put her dead body in the vat of acid. I thought it was kind of funny because when we saw Emmett, she was when she was running away in the movie from John Goodman, you just saw Emmett's body just
yeah, just yeah. And the way that she actually finally gets out of the bunker is that she ran away from him, and she what'd she do, stab him or something like that?
No, she well, obviously after the acid part. And early on in the movie, he kind of showed them the Navy tricks on what they did and what he learned to do. And yeah, so basically she jumped over the vat of acid. I forgot what she did, but...
I mean, what she did to him. What'd she do to him that made him...
Mad?
No, made her get away from him and stuff.
Made her... I don't know.
No, she locked him inside of the place.
Yeah, she locked
him inside the room that she was in.
And then she
locked the door and everything. She threw stuff in front of the door. He got out. And then when she's inside the place where Emmett got killed and gotten the acid and all that stuff, the thing
bathroom,
of acid, the bathroom, was still sitting there. And like he was just like, after all I did for you and everything, this is how you repay me. He's like, no, this is. And then she knocks over the acid and he falls in it. He's like pretty much burning almost to death. And then the place sets on fire and she puts on the gas mask and everything, gets out of there after he tries to stab her multiple times through the vent. Then she gets out of there, and when she gets out of there, she realizes that the air is actually breathable. But the big twist of the movie was that it was aliens the whole time.
There was no Cloverfield 1 monster.
There was no original Cloverfield monster. It wasn't John Goodman was a crazy guy the whole time. It wasn't the military. It was aliens.
It was aliens, and
So that might be a little bit of a letdown for some people.
For some people like me, it was kind of a letdown because it's like, oh, I've seen that alien before. In a way, do you know the worms in Peter Jackson's King Kong? You know, the slugs? That's what they look like.
Only with arms and legs and like armor on and all that stuff.
And then the spaceship had a vagina.
So, to some people that would be a little bit of a letdown, but in a way, it's a J.J. Abrams movie.
So,
if it's just produced by him. And there is one thing that I will say about J.J. Abrams movies, and also the show Lost, and like a few other things that it has J.J. Abrams' name behind it. When you leave the movie theater after you see a J.J. Abrams movie or you watch a J.J. Abrams TV show, you're going to be left with more questions than answers.
Yeah. Unless it's like Star Wars, then
or Star Trek or something like that.
Yeah,
because that's different.
Because that's
you're not going to be asking questions after Star Wars.
Oh, what's happening?
Unless
well, I mean, unless it's Rey. Who is Rey?
Yeah,
I mean,
Rey. But yeah, other parts of the movie, there's some comic relief parts, like when Mary Elizabeth Weinstein and John Gallagher Jr. are talking about like board games he used to play as kids.
Oh yeah.
And also I want to say this about John Goodman. I applaud him for this movie because every single scene that he was in, I felt the tension in the room. Like, so, you could cut the tension in the room with a knife.
You could tell he had, like, like you said, he got the tension, you know. He always did this with his hands, like what I'm doing with this.
Yeah. He always had, like, even after Mary Elizabeth Weinstein actually saw the woman who was like dying and all that stuff, even after that happened, she like stitched his eye up and everything. Because the way that she got out the first time was she took his keys away, and then she apparently like some rumbling was heard outside and everything, and then she took a bottle and smashed it across his face. And then ran out there. And like his face is all fucked up, and he got out. Got out of there and everything.
I thought he was gonna be more mad than he actually was, and then he basically used distilled, like, it was like vodka.
Yeah.
But he's like,
alcohol.
And so basically he was like, yeah, when I was in the Navy, we did this to my sergeant and whatnot. It took him an hour to get out of the door. So basically he took one of the thing to, he called it on the rocks, 'cause that's what they call it at the bar. It's just to cool your drink down. And then so she stitched him up, and then that played later on in the role. So she used that to break the lock.
So pretty much every single part of this movie, whenever he tells her something that he did and all that stuff, it's kind of hinting at what she's going to utilize.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the Navy, and he was in the military and all that stuff. So when they want to make the gas mask, when she wants to make the gas mask, all she has to do is find one of the books and rip the page out.
Yeah.
The only thing she fucked up on was, like, when he actually found, like, the gas mask suit and everything, was that she didn't completely put it underneath the bed. Completely.
Yeah, I know.
Also, this movie proves that duct tape will save your life.
Duct tape forever. Duck, not ducked.
It's also kind of like in the movie The Martian, or like in the movie not Interstellar, but like every part in the movie The Martian. Anytime that he fucked up, he had to use duct tape for something.
Duct tape. Oh man.
It was like duct tape apparently has become more popular in movies now.
Duct tape. But everything's gonna be duct tape, dude.
Yeah, I also just wanted to comment about the alien part of the movie, the payoff at the end. I thought I read a leaked spoiler that apparently John Goodman was an alien or something like that the whole time, or he was part of it and everything, but he gets blown to smithereens, so I don't think that's a thing. I will say that's a little bit of a disappointment that throughout the entire movie, John Goodman is like this big tough guy and everything, but die in an explosion. I mean, Mary Elizabeth Weinstein was the protagonist throughout the entire movie, so you were rooting for her, and I rooted for her pretty much the entire movie, even the end when she was almost getting killed by an alien spaceship.
Yeah, I thought going into it, because I didn't know it was going to be like just a blood relative of the first Clover. I thought it was just a complete like, it's
I read about it before I saw the movie, so I knew it probably wasn't going to be like Cloverfield. It was just going to share the same title.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, why it shares the same title as Cloverfield is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, the original name for the movie was going to be called The Bunker.
Yeah,
I think,
or it was like
The Cellar.
Cellar.
That kind of would have been a better name. So I guess
People said they've seen it before.
Yeah, the name of the movie will just throw Cloverfield fans off.
It was kind of slapped on there, in my honest opinion. But I remember one of the theories that I had was like, oh, one of the parasites from the first movie is in the bunker, so that's why they're going all ape shit, But I mean, in all honesty,
there was parts in this movie where I didn't want the jump scare to come, so I was kind of just.
I know I was looking over, especially the part when the flash of the car, the headlights were.
The thing that I thought was gonna happen was like when the alien comes out of the cornfield, and
signs too.
That's honestly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But she was like inside this one place. She was inside like a barn and everything, and there was like a dead guy on the ground. I thought the dead guy was gonna get up or something, like fucking like go whatever at her.
No.
But yeah, that didn't happen. And
this is a thriller, so don't have to worry about jump scares.
You don't have to worry about this being a horror movie, because I guess if you want to count John Goodman being a extremely creepy character in the movie, then you could count it as that. But yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, that other part when they were playing, like, it's not Pictionary. What's it called? Pictionary is when you draw the picture and you're supposed to guess it. Like, he kept saying different things.
Yeah. Where they have to guess, like
he has to draw something and then he has to, like, say the
hint
words. Hint at it. And then he was saying, like, I watch you guys. I know what you're doing.
I watch when you sleep.
I see you when you sleep.
You think he's, like, talking about them because they are building the suit to go outside.
So he, like, knows everything they're doing.
And then she's like, oh, no, it's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's...
Yeah, Mary was Elizabeth Winstead, a.k.a. Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim's World. Good movie.
It's good.
But, yeah, she pretty much... Her and John Goodman sold this entire movie.
Yeah,
I did feel a little let down when Emmett died, because, honestly, he was, like, the most likable character in the movie.
Yeah.
He was probably... Like, when it comes to all three actors, because there's only three actors in this entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the main actors in this movie, I'm pretty sure he was probably the weakest role out of all of them. He was just supposed to be, like, the comic relief or the guy, like, the nice guy you can relate to.
He was supposed to be the T.J. Miller.
Yeah, John Goodman is, like, pretty much, I think, maybe the antagonist.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the antagonist.
I mean, he just completely shot a guy in the face, but...
Well, yeah, yeah. But, well, in a way, he did say that he tried to take his gun, and he wanted all that, so, just to make sure he was going to kill him. But John Goodman was, like, the antagonist. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was the protagonist, and she was the one that had no idea what was going on. And she was pretty much just, like, the one you root for the entire movie. And Emmett was kind of the guy that you also root for, but you didn't exactly 100% care all the way for him.
Yeah.
They kind of gave a little bit of backstory for him, and his backstory is kind of meh.
Yeah.
Her backstory was pretty interesting.
Yeah, hers, because she wanted to be an artist, and otherwise she wanted to do clothing, and... Yeah, and... There's a lot
to talk about, but there's not a lot to talk about. It's a very isolated movie, except for the last part, and also the ending of the movie is like she's driving away from the farm that she was at, and
hits the mailbox.
Hits the mailbox. It says 10 Cloverfield. It could have said something else. You know what? What if the movie wasn't called 10 Cloverfield Lane? And then, like, it was called The Cellar or something like that. And then when, like, the thing comes over and says 10 Cloverfield, you're just like, hey. But, yeah, she goes over and she's, like, driving, and then she notices stuff on the radio, and she stops, and it's like, people need help in Houston and all that stuff. Like, we're winning. You should come join the fight and everything. And she turns, and when she turns, there's, like, is it lightning flashes?
I think it was artillery.
It was like artillery, like firing and all that stuff. And if you really pay attention, you can see like a giant
top
spaceship.
Right. So when you see it, look
you can
top
see like
right.
a giant alien spaceship like exploding and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
like, but I was thinking about it when
if you were to see the movie for a second time, because honestly, I would see the movie again. But if you watch the movie for a second time, you'd probably like, now that you know that the aliens are throughout the entire movie, you can just like piece together everything of where they were and weren't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was kind of funny, though, at the end. I was like, when she was listening to the radio, she's like, she kind of made that one decision. The, like, superheroes are like, they kind of make that moral decision. She looks back, and she's like, I better go help those people in Houston, Texas. It's like, what the fuck? And in all honesty, it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, but yeah, they're all joining together, which is good, so.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But I guess there's other parts to talk about during the movie. The score for the movie was Jesus.
Oh yeah, I did like it.
I was gonna lean over and tell this guy, but I was too enthralled in the movie. I was like, the score for this movie is fucking awesome.
That's one thing that makes a movie great is the score. So
Like, imagine if you're watching a movie about a serial killer and, like, sun shines and lollipops is playing in the background.
Yeah.
Honestly, that still kind of go with it.
Yeah.
But, because honestly, something really happening during something, like, really, like, menacing and terrible
it's kind of
goes with the vibe. Like, for instance, in the movie Scarface, when he's gunning down all the people and, like, the opera music is going in the background.
Yeah.
It kind of has that double, like, the two ends of something meeting together to make it more
it's
impactful
like,
and all that stuff.
yeah, it's supposed to be like kind of artistry, you
Yeah.
know.
But I loved Mary Elizabeth Weinstein in this movie and how smart how smart she was and all that stuff. She was like one step ahead she was one step ahead of the crowd like the entire time. Like if you're one of those people that sits in a movie and you hate like the people that are in the movie that are just like, come on, do that. What are you doing? You should do that. Like she was doing that. She was doing that.
They use common sense.
Yeah. She was
this movie had substance to it, which is good, and that's what I like in a movie.
It had a lot of substance. It had a lot of thing. The payoff at the end of the movie is it's going to be sided. People are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. I'm on the side. I'm the gray area. I'm the one where I think it was a good payoff.
It'll probably grow on me. You know, it's a hit and miss for me. I'm like, yeah, it could have been a little more. You know, a little better, but then I'm like...
Then again, what did you want the payoff at the end?
Exactly. Like, at first I didn't want the payoff to be, oh, she drove away in the car, and then that was it. I'm like...
Yeah, well... And by the way, I will say this. I'll add this comment about the whole Cloverfield thing and all that stuff. Anyone who's going into this who thought it was going to be a direct sequel from Cloverfield, here's my take on the whole special effects thing on the Cloverfield movie and the Cloverfield monster. The Cloverfield monster in Cloverfield is a found footage movie. It was a shaky cam thing.
Yeah.
The only clear shot you got of the Cloverfield monster was through a helicopter. And it was made just for those few seconds.
Yeah.
So to make it an entire huge scale, to make it look like a gigantic monster for like more than maybe 30 minutes.
It kind of looked awkward.
More than 15 minutes, I don't think it would work all that well.
Yeah.
So I think the inclusion of just like the alien spaceship and everything.
Would have been.
Also, when she was going up in the alien spaceship, she made a Molotov cocktail just by looking over, seeing a lighter, seeing some alcohol, and seeing a piece of paper or something like that. And she immediately thought of that. I was like, you are a fucking genius. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. And she tossed it in there, and then...
For an artist, you're pretty good.
Artiste. Yeah, but... I like I said, the more you think about this movie, the more you tend to like it more. It's one of those, you know.
I think every movie is like that.
Every movie.
Like when you first see a movie, you either like it, you either love it, or you either hate it. If you absolutely love the movie, if you think about it more, you point out the flaws, and maybe it wasn't as amazing as when you first saw it. Mm-hmm. Or if you absolutely hate a movie, if you keep thinking about other things in the movie, you either hate it more or you start to like it a little bit. For instance, our last review on the movie The Witch. Was it our last review?
Yep.
Yeah, our last review of The Witch. When we walked out of that movie, we were a little disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But we started thinking about the creepy spots in the movie and stuff, and we realized that
because like Satanism is real and shit.
Okay, it's actually a really good horror movie, and this is a really good science fiction thriller movie.
Oh yeah,
so
I like it.
I'm pretty sure we're just gonna end this review right here. If there's anything we missed, I know one of you is gonna be like, "You missed this part of the movie. We can't talk about the whole goddamn movie."
Batman vs Superman's next.
For a review. Yeah. In 2 weeks.
I just need to get fucking work off.
Yeah. But anyways, rating. I'll start with me.
Yeah.
So rating, honest opinion, 8.5 out of 10.
I would give it a solid maybe 7.9.
We do halves.
Fuck you. No, alright, so maybe 7.5 for me.
Oh.
No, shit.
I thought you were gonna say 8.
8, but it's leaning. It's like that 7.5. That's like on the 8.
So it's basically it's a light 8.
It's a light 8.
It's a strong 7 to a light 8.
Exactly.
So for me, it's a light to decent 8.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's still a great movie. It's still a great movie. You should still go see it if you're a fan of science fiction movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If you really like extremely tense movies, because that's what this movie did best. It built the tension.
Oh yeah.
And when it finally paid off, it was worth the tension. Honestly, John Goodman was the acting is the best part of the entire movie.
Exactly.
Because there will be literally people that are just in a bunker that are talking to each other about how something outside is going to kill them. But it's interesting. Mary Elizabeth Weinstein was awesome. John Goodman is like Oscar worthy for this fucking movie. John Gallagher Jr. He was just there. He was pretty good though. Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, I'm pretty sure she's pretty Oscar worthy for this movie.
Oh no, she's good. Like unfortunately, a lot of people don't look at Oscars for these, and I'm like, it's kind of sad, but like, it's because like movies that are good like this should be recognized, but acting wise, this is what made the movie. I could literally watch this movie for 2 hours if it was just them talking like that, you know, with that tension kind of cutting. If it was kind of like more of a serial, if it wasn't focused on Cloverfield, if it was maybe something different, I would have, you know, basically just said, fuck it, dude. This.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams with his giant ego just pretty much titled a movie after one of his best-known movies just so people would go see it, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to say I love the movie. I extremely like the movie.
I do. I mean, just because I gave it a strong 7 and a light 8 doesn't mean like I said. It's not because I hate it.
Anything like below a 7, I think a strong 6 to a 10 is good.
Yeah.
But like actually, strong 6 to a light 8 is good. Decent 8 to a light 9 is great, and then on that is just an incredible movie. And this movie is a great movie.
It's a great movie. I personally would recommend seeing it. So
yeah, I would recommend seeing it if you're a fan of high tense movies, great acting,
sci-fi,
and sci-fi if you like aliens and stuff.
Oh, I love aliens.
Yeah. But anyways, that's our review for 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's a great movie. You should go see it. Our next review is going to be on Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. And 2 weeks from now, we are extremely excited because it's like
Team Batman.
It's our most anticipated movie for this year besides Rogue One, Star Wars. So yeah.
It's going to be such a good year.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. 3,
2,
1.
We're done.
Goodbye.
Later.